guys, it's Maya. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on our video today. As you can see by the title, this reading is all about, are you on the right path? So pretty much we're going to be diving in deep to your current energy, and we're going to see what's going on and what advice does Spirit have for you. And I have a little bit of a breakdown for our reading today, and we're also going to be looking at your strengths and your weaknesses. Just as a person in your current energy. We'll also see, is there anything that you need to change or shift in order to kind of align to your path that you are meant to be on right now. So that is what we are talking about. It's all about your current energy and if you're on the right path or how you can get onto the right path. So I have 4 groups for you guys to choose from. Each group has a different tarot deck and has a different crystal and a different card that came out as I was shuffling. So there are many ways for you to be drawn to your group today. So let me go ahead and show you your options up close one by one. Group 1, this is the Ostara Tarot. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this fluorite chunk. And your random card is the World. Group 2, this is the Anime Tarot. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this white jade. And your random card is the High Priestess. Group 3, this is the Transient Light Tarot. This is what the back looks like, and your crystal is the Sodalite. And your random card is the Lovers. Group 4, this is the Shadowscapes Tarot. This is what the back looks like, and your crystal is this purple seer stone. Your random card is the Queen of Cups. Okay, you guys, here are all of your options laid out for you side by side, and you can watch more than one group. There could be messages for you in more than one reading, and also take all the time you need to pick a group. I'm going to go ahead and get started with group number 1. Hey guys, if you chose this Ostara Tarot with the World card and this fluorite chunk, this is your group. Hello, group number 1. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm actually gonna set all my crystals in this little cute little bowl today, so that's why that's there. But yes, thank you so much for being here. And like I mentioned in the intro, this reading is all about, are you on the right track? So let's just jump right into it, you guys. I hope everyone's having a great day or night wherever you are watching this. Let's move this over. I don't think there's anything that's coming through to me. The only thing that I can really, the only message I'm getting from like your intro card is like breaking patterns, breaking through patterns or habits. Breaking patterns or habits, yeah. Something like that. Because like if you want change, you have to break some kind of a pattern or habit in order to like move forward from it. It's interesting because there's actually this quote, this quote is on my wall because I have a bunch of stuff on my wall, especially like by my computer where I work. And one of the quotes, I found it on Pinterest, but one of the quotes, it says, old ways won't open new doors. And I feel like that's what this card was saying to me. Like, you have to break out of certain patterns or habits or certain molds, because if you're doing the same thing but you're expecting different outcomes, like that's not gonna work. You know, old ways won't open new doors, because whatever you are doing, you're going to receive the same outcome. So if you want something to change, you have to break the pattern or break those habits and do something new in order for a new outcome or a new door to open, something like that. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to start off with our energy check today, and I'm going to keep it simple. This is one of my favorite ways to do an energy check, is just get a tarot deck and pull out some cards. You know, it's so like simple, but it's my favorite. I try not to do that in all my readings because I try to switch it up and use like oracle decks and like let's make it fancy and use all these different cards. But today I want to keep it simple. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull 3, but if more than 3 come out, that's fine. Let's go ahead and see for group 1. We're gonna see, are they on the right track? So let's start off with group Group 1's current energy check. Group 1's current energy check. Group 1's current energy check. We have the Elder of Wands, so this is the King of Wands with the number 35. And then we have the Death card, number 13. Let's get one more for Group 1's current energy check. Group 1's current energy check. Okay, and as usual, if the energy check does not sound like you, then definitely check out a different group. Oh, and we have the Magician. Oh, I love it. That's amazing, because that's like really perfect to like this World card, because, and 333 on the time as I'm saying this, because the World card is the last card in the Major Arcana. So it is the end of a cycle. And I already got that energy of like you are trying to start something new, or you're trying to shift in some way into something new. So you're like kind of ending some kind of a cycle or a chapter and wanting to start something new. And that's perfect with what we see here, because the Magician is all about a new beginning. You know, this is the number one. We are taking action towards something new. And then we have the Death card, which talks about an ending. It talks about a transformative period. So something is ending, which in the case, you know, for example, if I'm going to talk about breaking the patterns and breaking the habits in order to attract something new, that would be the Death card, because you are breaking habits, you're breaking patterns, you're changing things up, you're ending some way of living or some lifestyle, some habits, you're ending something. It could even be more of a mental energy. Maybe you're ending a certain perspective you have, you're having a bit of a perspective shift, or your mental health is changing, or spiritually you are evolving. You know, this transformative ending and beginning can be in any aspect that you want it to be. But it's nice because I feel like your energy is recognizing that something has to end in order for you to have a new beginning, which is really nice, because for this to be your current energy, it shows me that you are evolved enough, you know, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, you are evolved enough to realize this. Because in order to change anything in life, we have to be aware first. Like that is what kickstarts everything, because if we don't have self-awareness, we don't know what we're doing or what we have to do. So I love that this is in your current energy, because it shows me you already have the awareness that you have to shift or change something in your life in order to, you know, in order for your chapters to change or to start something new. And I love the Death card because it shows me that you are leaving something behind. You realize that you cannot bring this old thing into this new cycle, into this new life of yours. So it feels like you are leaving something behind. And it's interesting, in this card, there's a road. So for some of you, it literally feels like traveling or relocating or moving, or like getting, you know, packing up that car, packing up your stuff, getting in the car and going. Like you are physically leaving something behind for some of you. And it's interesting because we have the World here, and then even in this Magician, we have the World here behind that pentacle. So even that is showing me that there could be some kind of a physical change for some of you within your environment. So you could be changing homes, you could be changing, like literally going to a different city, a different state, a different country. There could be something about like uprooting everything and starting over somewhere else. For others of you, there could be traveling involved, because, you know, with travels and new heights, we get new perspectives. So it also feels like there could be some kind of a soul-searching journey going on with the Death card, and you're traveling or you're like experiencing new things in order to find the answers that you are seeking. I love this energy, Group 1. I'm so happy for you. And I feel like this is a specific energy because I sense that like you're not really struggling right now. Things are not heavy, things are not hard. I think that you are in the process of really creating the life of your dreams. And that's how you know if this is your group or not, because if you're really going through something tough, or if you're really struggling through something in your life right now, I feel like this might not really be your group. Or you could, maybe you were going through something tough, but I feel like overall you would be shifting into a very like spiritual and a very aware energy. Like you're very aware of what's happening and what needs to be done. This is not the energy of somebody that's rejecting change, who's running away from it. I think this is somebody who is embracing it. And I love that the King of Wands is here, because the King of Wands is all about personal power. You know, the King and Queen of Wands, they are the epitome of personal power and confidence, and they're gonna create the change that they are seeking. So I feel like you're in a very confident energy right now in your life, because you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what's coming next, and you know exactly where you're going. So honestly, it kind of even makes sense for us to switch these around, because to get to that confirmation kind of an energy, like to get to the energy of where you know exactly what's happening and you know exactly where you're going, you have to have that death and that rebirth. So it really feels like this would have happened first, you know, that transformative, something would have fallen apart in your life, or something would have been brought up to your awareness that this needs to end in order for me to pursue the life I want to live. So the death would come first, and this is the rebirth. So I love that even this is a number one. Honestly, I want to switch all of them like this, because if we're seeing this in some kind of an order, it would be that you would have your death first, and then you would have your rebirth, and then you would find that confidence within yourself to pursue the lifestyle that you want to pursue. For some of you, you could be here and you are like entering into this change. So if you are going through a transformative period, or you feel it coming, you know, the Death and the Tower, it's one of those energies where like you can sense that something is about to happen, or like you can sense that something is falling apart or something is ending. And I feel like, you know, maybe for some of you, you're not here yet, but you're here. Spirit is saying embrace the change, because you have to go through the change in order to get here. So don't deny it. You know, it's kind of like, you know, when it's like really still, but like the calm before the storm, that kind of what it feels like. Like you would know that something is shifting in your energy, in your space, in your life. But Spirit is saying to embrace it and to go with the flow and to see where it takes you, because I really think it's going to take you to new heights, and it's a very exciting energy. And the reason we even have a death and a rebirth, it's because something is not meant for us anymore. So it could be a lifestyle that's not meant for us, a job that's not meant for us, friends, maybe even family members, you know, acquaintances, maybe relationships, partnerships. It's like all of these things come to an end because they're not meant for you anymore. So that's really what it feels like. It's like something is coming to an end because it's not meant for you, and it's not helping you evolve into who you are meant to evolve into, you know? So that's like really what I'm sensing. But this is very nice. It feels very peaceful. It feels very like smooth transition. And I think you are aware enough to realize like things have to change in order for you to pursue the life you want to live. So I'm going to leave it at that, because that feels very good. Oh, actually, hold on. I need to grab another deck. Okay, I'm back. So normally for my group ones, I'm still kind of figuring out what exactly I'm doing. And I know that I wanted to grab another deck to get some more information. So I'm back. And so let's get into it. So the second thing I want to see, oh, and also if, you know, if this doesn't sound like you, please check out a different group. I want everyone to be able to find their energy and find their group. So please, you know, definitely go through the readings if this one doesn't sound like you. Okay, so now I want to see, what do your guides want you to know? What do your guides want you to know about your current track, your current energy? What do your guides want you to know? So I will say, so far I can tell that you are on the right track. Like this ending, this new beginning, personal power, you know, if you are embodying this and this is kind of what you see happening in your life right now, then I would definitely say yes, you're on the right track. So it feels very much like a confirmation. This feels really good, you know? So let's see, what do your guides want you to know for group one? What do your guides want you to know? There's also this energy of staying open-minded. Open-minded with what life is throwing your way. Let's see, What do your guides want you to know for group 1? Taking a while. That's okay. Let's see. Group 1. What do you want group 1 to know? Oh, we have the Ace of Wands. Let me get one more. For group 1, what do you want group 1 to know? All right, we got 2. You got the Magician again! Group 1, this is the exact same card. And you got the Emperor. You got, so that's interesting because you got the same card again, and then you got another masculine energy coming out. And I really feel like this is you. So like, no, you know, it doesn't matter if you are a feminine energy here on earth, you know, we all embody masculine and feminine energies within us. And I feel like right now, the reason we see 2 masculine energies come up is because Spirit is saying to you, this is not the time to be passive. This is not the time to sit around and wish and hope and be, you know, fantasize and daydream, because that's more of the feminine energy, right? So we have our feminine and we have our masculine, and the feminine energy is more passive. It kind of is, it attracts, it doesn't chase anything, it attracts things into its life. It is very good at manifestation. It's very good at like the subconscious and the spiritual and the emotional aspect of things. But then our masculine energy is a very go-getter kind of an energy. It's very much like forward moving here in the physical world. We have to put in the time and the effort, and we got to grind and we got to get stuff done. That is our masculine energy. And it feels like right now for group 1, for you to continue on this path, especially if you're going through this death and a rebirth, you have to step into your masculine energy. Even the Magician is masculine. You know, the Magician has all the tools in front of them to go do what they need to do, to start building what they need to build. You know, it's like the toolbox is right there and you just got to pick it up and you got to start doing something with it. You know, the Magician is not the High Priestess where she kind of sits around and like lets things come to her. So it feels like you need to be in a masculine energy to where you are putting in the time and work and you are making things happen with yourself in the physical world, you know. And it's good to embody the feminine energy as well. But I think what Spirit is trying to say is that for you to move forward out of this death and to start something new, you have to step into more of a masculine energy to make it happen, or at least to get things started. You know, maybe once things do get started, then you can kind of sit back and relax and observe and do all of that. But they're saying to get it started, to build that foundation for you to stand on, it needs to be from more of a masculine energy. And I love that we have the Magician out here twice. I mean, clearly like major confirmation for group 1 that there is a new beginning that is about to happen and the power is in your hands. That's what I love about the Magician, because in traditional tarot, the Magician wears a red cloak, and the red cloak talks about personal power. And the tools are right in front of the Magician and they got their personal power on. So it's showing you that you can do whatever you want to do from here moving forward, and the power is in your hands. You know, the only limitations that are there right now are the limitations you place on yourself. The opportunities are endless. You know, the possibilities are endless. And this is that breaking out of whatever that death card was, whatever that previous mold was, previous patterns and habits and previous lifestyles. You're breaking out of that and you're truly embodying this new beginning with your personal power. And I love that the Ace of Wands is here. This is pretty much me repeating myself because I'm seeing the same energies over and over again. Again, Ace of Wands, excitement, passionate, adventurous, confident, a go-getter energy. To me, Wands is always very masculine because it stems from that desire and that passion to go do something. It's not a let me sit back and let me just daydream. It's a I'm getting myself up and I'm getting it done. You know what I mean? It's a very strict energy. There needs to be discipline behind it, but I love it. I feel like Spirit is really giving you lots of confirmations over and over again, group 1, that you are, you know, definitely on the right path, especially if you're embracing that death and rebirth and you're, you know, on this new journey here. So let's go ahead. I have some questions to answer here. So first, I want to get a card for your current strengths. So for group one's current strengths. Ooh, that was quick. Oh, and it's a 10 of Pentacles. For your strengths, Spirit is really saying, like, you don't realize just how big you could go. Like, you don't realize just how big you can make it, because your ultimate strength, it's like you have so much potential. And the fact that we have the 10 of Pentacles, it's showing me that, like, you have the desire and you can also put in the work. That is one of your strengths, because Pentacles, it's a very 3D energy. It's earth, it's tangible, it's what we are using to build, you know? So in that sense, it feels like you have, your strengths is that you can be disciplined and you can get things done. You can get things done in the 3D with your hands or with your body or with whatever it is you're using. It's like you can actually get things done and see progress here in the real world and use it to your advantage. You know, you are very, it's like you're very resourceful. You're very savvy in, like, things around you. And Spirit is saying you need to use that in order to really build the life that you want to build. But I also love, with the 10 of Pentacles, I see a lot of determination on your end. So I do feel like you're really in that personal power energy right now of, like, I am going to build the life of my dreams. And that's really, really nice. And you're the type of person that could really start over. Like, you can literally start something from scratch, start a new cycle, a new chapter, a new project from scratch and build it all the way up. And I also see you have a lot of patience within yourself as well, because you know things don't happen overnight. So that's where it's like that patience and that consistency and that motivation. It's like you really embody all of these qualities that are rooted for success. And Spirit is saying that's why you got to use them, because these are your strengths. You could be very practical, which is interesting that we're seeing so much masculine energy. And, you know, masculine energy is very practical, whereas our feminine, it's more spiritual. It's more in our subconscious. It's more about that praying and that manifesting, and we're in our spiritual energy. But you seem very practical, to where you're seeing things logically. You can see what needs to be done next. You see the steps that it takes to get to where you need to go. So that's really nice for that to come up for your strengths here. Let's see what are your weaknesses. So I want to get a card for group one's weaknesses. Got two. Someone obviously revving their motorcycle. So yeah. So for your weaknesses, we have the 9 of Cups and we have the 6 of Pentacles. Your weakness, group one, is that you really care for people. You really care for people and you want to be there for people. You want to help people. You want to, like, you know, be the shoulder that they cry on. Maybe you want to be there for them financially. Maybe you want to take care of them. You have such a soft spot for people, but that actually turns into a weakness. That actually turns into a weapon that somebody uses against you, is your love and your compassion and your kindness. Especially if you're doing really well in life and you're really sure of who you are and you have all these great plans and goals and dreams, and it's like you get things done because you're practical and hardworking, you know, people can see that and they can take advantage of that if they feel like you know, have that soft spot, have that compassion. And my cat's scratching. Hold on one second. So it really feels like, you know, you could be somebody, especially if you have a lot for yourself, or if you're creating a life where, yeah, like you have money or you have abundance, you have things that you can offer to people. And especially if there's people in your life that you really care about. It's interesting, earlier we were saying that part of this death and rebirth is like detaching from people that don't deserve to be in your life. And I even specifically mentioned maybe friends or family members, or like people that are just like, that just like take from you, you know. And I feel like at some point you have to recognize, like, that is your weakness, is that you are too loving and too caring and you don't know how to set healthy boundaries, and people can see that. You know what I mean? And they take advantage of that. And I think that's something Spirit wants you to know about you moving on in this path, because especially if you know, if you don't set healthy boundaries and you don't know when to stop or when to say no, then I mean that could truly, you know, truly be a weapon that is used against you. And I think Spirit doesn't want that to happen, because you're coming through as such a nice soul, you know, such a kind individual, such a healthy soul, such a loving person. And but Spirit is saying, well, you have to like be strict. You have to be strong in that sense, because you cannot just let people walk all over you. So it does feel like that weakness here could definitely get in the way of your success, could get in the way of you, you know, of you doing what you need to do, because people could be holding you back. People could, there's so many ways people could interfere with you when this could be a weakness here. I also feel like another weakness of yours is not knowing when you have enough. And that is such a human thing, right? And I know a lot of people that do this. I sometimes do it myself, to where it's like we are just striving for greatness all the time, to when even when we have achieved our initial goal, we suddenly feel like it's not enough and we have to do more. And I feel like Spirit is trying to say to you, if you're constantly chasing the next thing and you're not appreciating what you have in the moment, you will never appreciate anything. You will never be happy, because you have to realize you worked for what you have right now. And you have to appreciate it and take it in and settle with it, live with it for a second, get cozy with it, cuddle up with it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to just like get it and then run off to the next thing. So it feels like a weakness is you don't realize when you have enough, because you're already always going to the next thing, or you feel like you should be doing more, you should be better at, like, it almost feels like a self-inflicted energy, because maybe you're telling yourself, well, I could be doing more, I could be doing better, I could be doing the next thing. And it's almost kind of like you need to learn when to take a break, like when to just like pause for a second. You don't always have to be moving, you don't always have to be working, you don't always have to go into that next thing. You can like take the time to appreciate what you have done and where you are, and just like sit with it for a second. Because I feel like that really leads to burnout, when you're always chasing the next thing and you don't know when, like, you don't know how to appreciate what you have, because that leads to burnout. Because when, you know what I mean, when you're constantly chasing the next thing, it's like you're never gonna get there, and that just leads to severe burnout. And then you just don't appreciate anything that you've done up until that point, and there's no happiness with it, and you're just exhausted. So I think that is also a weakness that is coming through that I see here. But yeah, boundaries is a big one. Taking care of yourself first, like putting yourself first instead of putting somebody else first. That's a really big one as well. I feel like there's a deeper meaning though. Like, the reason you are constantly like telling yourself you could be doing more or you can go to the next, I almost feel like you, like, it's not that you don't believe in yourself, but it's this energy of like, I'm trying to put it into words. It's like somebody who feels like they're not good enough, and because of that, they're trying to prove to themselves that they are good enough. And because of that, they are constantly trying to do the next thing. Like, so this energy really kind of boils down to your self-worth and how you view yourself. Because it's almost like you're trying to prove to yourself, I am good enough, I am smart enough. So then you're doing the next thing, and you're the next and the next. But for some reason, when you kind of are at a standstill, you start to think, I don't know, it's like you almost like not like blame yourself, but it's, I can't put my finger on the energy, but that's like what I'm kind of sensing for the weakness. It's like it really is something that is like stemming from a deeper reasoning, but I can't put my finger on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get one card for what you should change, if anything. Is there anything that group one should change or adjust in their life and on this path that they're going down? Is there anything group one should change? Ooh, should change or adjust on this path of theirs. I think this is the Five of Cups. Oh, you know what? This is what I couldn't put my finger on. It's that you need to be kinder to yourself. I think that's what it is, because when you keep pushing yourself to move forward, it's because like you're not happy with yourself in the moment. Like you need to be kinder to yourself to understand that you're human and you can only work so hard. You can only get so much done. You know what I mean? Like there's this energy of like recognizing that like you're tired and it's okay to be tired. It's okay to be exhausted after a long day. And I think you just have to be kinder to yourself. Hold on. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that you have to be kinder to yourself and realize that you are doing the best that you can do in any given moment, and try not to push yourself, because that is coming through as a weakness. And you might think, oh, I'm superhuman. I can just keep going. I don't need a break. I don't need to stop. But in reality, that is a weakness that's actually going to completely screw you over, and it's going to slow you down. It's going to burn you out, and you're not going to get to where you want to be that way. So that's what I was, there's like this lack of self-love. And I think you are like trying to compensate for the lack of self-love with like burnout and overworking and like this hustle mentality. I don't know. That's what I'm sensing. There's definitely a deeper, whoopsies, there's definitely a deeper situation going on here. But I'm gonna keep going. Okay. So this was, what should you change? So let me clarify this. Oh, this is the Six of Cups. Six of Cups and King of Pentacles in the reverse. Something you should change in order for you to be, you know, on the right path and continue living the life you're meant to be living, is there's a need for you to like let go of things that are no longer serving you. Because with this being the Six of Cups, you know, that really talks about the past, your past. To me, it feels like you're holding on to connections or situations or memories or trauma or anything from your past, really. It feels like there's certain things that you're still holding on to, and you bring them in with you on a day-to-day basis. But with the King of Pentacles in the reverse, it feels like Spirit is saying, if there's one thing you should change that will actually help you prosper, is that you need to start letting go of things. You can't be harboring things or having resentment or bringing things from the past into the future. You know, that also feels like that initial message of like breaking the mold, because how can we expect a different future if we're constantly bringing our past in with us? You know what I mean? It's like things have happened in the past, yes, but if we're trying to have a new beginning and a new future, the past has to stay in the past. We can't have both. We can't have the things from the past but also have our new future. You know, that doesn't make sense. And I think up until now you could have been holding on to things from your past, and that is something you need to break out of in order to really, you know, get onto this right path, to really be able to move forward in the right path. Is you need to let go of things from your past. And then for one, okay, so now we'll see, how can you get on the right path if you're not already? How can group one get on the right path if they're not already? We have the Nine of Swords. I think the way that you get on the right path, group one, is by having this death, because it feels like this is a very different energy from like what I'm sensing here. But it feels like what I've kind of been describing here is what would lead you to have that death and that rebirth, which would lead to that new beginning. So it does feel like for you to get on the right path, you need to have that. You need to literally break the mold. You have to end things. You have to cut cycles, cut ties, and really heal from certain things. Let me clarify this Nine of Swords, the Seven of Swords. Bottom of the deck, it's the Star. with the Nine of Swords and the Seven of Swords, it feels like for one, one thing that would help you get on the right path, along with, you know, starting that healing and transformative journey within yourself, is to love yourself a little bit more. When I first saw that Nine of Swords, it felt like a lack of self-love, which we kind of talked about a little bit here, or like a lack of self-worth, or just you just don't know yourself well enough right now. And I think that's something that will help you get on the right path and help you have this perspective shift, you know, or that rebirth. And I also think to be honest with yourself, because there's so many times where we just dismiss things and we just kind of put them away in the back of our head and we don't acknowledge it. We don't take it seriously. We don't learn from it. We don't heal it. We kind of just tuck it away in a box and we move on from it. So I feel like there's a lot of like mental conflicts within yourself. And I think one way to erase those mental conflicts is to face it and to figure out what it means and what's really going on, and to be honest with yourself so you can actually like get rid of them and then move forward in a more peaceful energy. And with the Star here as the bottom of the deck, it really feels, oh my god, there's that world peeking out. You're a new beginning. With the Star here, it feels like going back to that energy of like knowing your self-worth. Is Spirit is saying for you to get on the right track, you need to know that you're capable of accomplishing whatever it is you want to accomplish. You have to like stop belittling yourself, but you also have to realize that like you are good enough. You are worth it. You are worth the life that you want to live. And I think a lot of that really does stem from the mental conflict situation, or the burnout situation, or even holding on to things from the past. It really feels like all of this is what would jumpstart that death and that rebirth energy. For some of you, maybe you've already kind of gone through this, because what's interesting is like this was supposed to be your current energy, but after seeing this, it almost feels like for some of you, you're not here yet. But this is like what your life would lead to if you did get to that death card or that rebirth. But some of you are already here, because I almost feel like this is somebody that has acknowledged these things and is working on it. And this is Spirit almost giving you more of a confirmation, like, yes, like this is exactly what you need to work on, what you need to do to get to this ending and a new beginning, to have that new path or that new chapter open up. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Yeah, be honest with yourself and learn that you are capable of whatever it is that you want to accomplish. So let's get some advice. Oh wait, I wanted to use this one first. All right, let's get some advice here for group 1 regarding their journey. Ooh, moon called, meant to be. Something's meant to be yours. It'll be. We have strength with the yang moon. Ooh, take a risk. I love that. Get that take a risk really feels like breaking the molds, breaking the old patterns, trying something new. Let me get one more. Truth. That kind of feels like the be honest with yourself energy. Oh my gosh. We have starfish with intuition. Listen to your soul's truth. Think less, feel more. We have horse with free spirit. Give yourself the space and freedom to express your creativity. And then we have raven with wise woman. A change is coming. Okay, group 1, thank you so much for letting me give you this reading. I think we kind of jumped around a little bit, so yeah, hopefully it made sense. Hopefully you were able to kind of put the pieces together on your own as well. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for being here now. But I do have a Patreon if you're interested in exclusive content. You can go ahead and check it out. The link is in the description, and there is a bunch of videos on Patreon, and the viewers get to suggest the monthly reading, so it's personalized content over there. Go ahead and check it out. It is in the description below. But take good care of yourself, you guys. Have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye! Hey guys, if you chose this High Priestess with the Anime Tarot and this white jade crystal, this is your group. Hello, group number 2. And I just realized that the card, your intro card, is also number 2. So the number 2 could be significant for you guys. And also, I just got this deck like yesterday. So this is my first time ever using this deck, and it is just so cute. It's just so cute, and the colors, like these pastel colors, are just so pretty. You will see them as we are using the deck, but I am so obsessed with this deck. But yeah, it's my first time using it, so I'm very excited. I kind of like shuffled and like kind of went through it a little bit, but I haven't like used it, you know? So, hello everyone, hello group 2. This is all about, are you on the right track? So we're gonna start off with an energy check first, and you know, as usual, if the energy doesn't sound like you or your current energy, then definitely go ahead and check out a different group. But that is what we're going to start off with, and then we will kind of get into the reading and see, you know, are you on the right track, and get a little bit more information about it. So let's get started. For group number 2, let's get group 2's energy check first. Alright, group 2's current energy. Group 2's current energy, please. Group 2's current energy. Oh my gosh, we have the Empress with the number 3. That's crazy because your intro card is the High Priestess, which is the card that comes right before the Empress. And actually, I was just thinking as I was sitting here, because in this image, you see her kind of like going up to the birds and stuff. So it just feels like somebody who is very spiritually evolved right now. Like you and the universe could be like besties right now. And then we see the Empress. So that kind of confirms that this is a very evolved energy here, and it's a very spiritual energy as well. Okay, let me keep going. Let's see, group 2's current energy. Group 2's current energy. Oh, that's a lot. Group 2's current energy, please. The Hermit! You have so many major arcana. Let's get one more, please. Group 2's current energy. Your cards are definitely taking a while, but I don't feel like it's a bad thing. I just feel like you're in a very mellow energy right now. Like you're in a very cool, calm, collected, spiritual energy right now, so it's very nice. Oh my gosh, you literally got all 3 major arcana. And your intro card is major arcana. So that is really crazy. I feel like you're very, very mature, or you're very spiritually evolved. You've probably been through maybe even more than one spiritual transformation in your life up until now. But I just feel like your energy is at peace. You're at peace with who you are. You're at peace with what you are doing in your life. You're at peace with like just everything. Like I feel like you and the universe are in a very harmonious balance right now between the two of you, and it's just, I'm so happy, and it's a very nice energy here. I feel like you also have a greater understanding that like everything is happening for a reason, and everything is happening in its own time. I feel like you're not rushing anything. You're not rushing it, you're not forcing it, you're not stressing about it. You're just really like going with the flow right now in life. and it is just so peaceful and so down to earth. And I think because you're in this energy, you're really appreciating all the little things around you. You're appreciating your life, you're appreciating, maybe your little things here and there, but it just feels like you're very grateful, you're very appreciative, and you're in no rush to get to the next thing or the next phase. You're really taking your time moving through life right now, and I love it. I really love this energy. So for all the cards right now, so this is Venus energy with Taurus and Libra. This is Virgo, and this is Mercury energy. I feel like you're just following where the universe is taking you. You're following the signs and the synchronicities, and you're just kind of going, and I love it because it feels so like smooth. Something about this energy is very smooth. Like, you're not questioning it. You're not resisting it. You're not in this stressful energy. It feels very, very easygoing. But yeah, with the Empress here, I feel like there's a lot of love around you, or you are putting a lot of love into the things around you. You're really appreciating everything around you right now. You feel very safe in life right now, in your current energy. This could be like literally your current environment, your home, your lifestyle. You feel very safe, but I feel like you feel very safe just in your body, in your energy right now. You just feel very safe with how you are and how you have matured, how you've evolved, and your connection with the universe. You just feel very safe. You feel very at home in your body right now, or in your life, which is really, really cool. It feels like you're letting your guard down, or you're letting your walls down. You're not so like pumped up. You're not so like on edge. I feel like you've really let your guard down in your life, because you're so at ease with everything around you, and you feel so at home. There could be traveling going on as well. Traveling, or like exploring different things, especially if you're like in a really good place in life. Maybe you have more time, maybe you have more money. So it feels like you're traveling, or you kind of like venturing out of your comfort zone, you're exploring new things. Yeah, I think, you know what, group two, I feel like I'm just repeating myself because there's not much for me to go off of. I feel like you are an energy that's very evolved. You have gone through spiritual transformations, and you're very happy, you're at peace, you feel very homey, you're relaxed. There's a lot of abundance around you, whether that is physical abundance or that is emotional, mental, spiritual abundance. It just feels you're in a very good place in life. And you're very excited about the future. You're very optimistic, but at the same time, you're not in a rush, and you're just really following where the universe is taking you. I love it. That is like what I'm really seeing, and it's very straightforward. Let me see. Is there anything that your guides want you to know? Is there anything for group two that their guides want group two to know? What is group two's guides? What am I saying? I'm getting tongue-tied. Hold on. There's group two's guides. We have the Three of Cups. Anything your guides want you to know? We have Judgment. And we have the Six of Swords. There's definitely a very peaceful transition going on in your life right now, group two. So I don't know if you've been in this energy for a while. I don't know if you're just stepping into this energy, but it feels like you got into this energy in a very peaceful manner, and life is just very smooth right now. Even with what I'm seeing here, it's like everything is happening peacefully, and it feels like there's so much trust between you and the universe. You've really surrendered to the divine. You've surrendered to whatever higher power, you know, you believe in. And it feels like because of that, things are just naturally falling into place. There's no controlling, there's no restrictions, there's no walls, there's no boundaries between you and the universe right now. And because of that, everything is like falling into your lap or falling into place peacefully. And I think you've learned that that's when you are better, or that's how you enjoy your life, is when you're not in control or you don't want to control the situation. You could have been somebody who wanted to control everything, or everything had to be a certain way, but I think you kind of hit a point in your life where you realize, you know, I don't want to control everything. I don't want to be in control. And I think you've also realized that you're not in control, you know, because we really are not in control. We have free will to a certain extent, but there's a lot of things that are going in and out of the picture. And I think you've realized that, and you've realized, okay, the more I just kind of embrace what's happening and go with the flow and stop trying to control the situation, that's when things are going to be much more at peace. If you feel like you're not in that energy yet, then that is the advice that your guides have for you, is, you know, to don't try to control every situation, and just really kind of go with the flow and let things fall into place naturally. With the Three of Cups here, they could be, you know, I could interpret this as like to have fun, to continue having fun, or to start having fun. So the Three of Cups talks about celebration, happiness, you know, like-minded people, friendships, companionships. So it could be that they're encouraging you to get out there and to really, you know, meet people and mingle and have fun. Or they're saying to continue to live this carefree lifestyle and to just really have fun and appreciate the people around you, or appreciate the environment around you, or the happiness that you can find in things and people around you. It feels like a very carefree energy, and they want you to continue to be in this, because that's like, you know, that's just what they want you to be in right now. So for this to be like the current energy vibes, I feel like this could be your current energy, or you're like on your way to this current energy. But this is the energy check, so I feel like whether you're already here or whether you're on your way here, you would know if this sounds like you, you know. I would hope that this is your current energy, because I channeled current energy, but it's a spectrum. So if you feel like you're kind of here but you're not here all the way, that's okay, because, you know, it's your reading, so, and it's your energy. So if you feel like this is your energy, then continue watching. I'm going to go in with the deck now. But if you feel like this just didn't really sound like you, then definitely check out a different group. So now let's get some specific information here for group number 2. Okay, so for group 2, first let's get a card for your strengths. What are group 2's strengths in life? Oh, the Fool! I love that. You have the Fool out here twice. Oh, she's so cute. I love these anime characters. They're so cute. Okay, so you have the Fool for your strengths. And I love that there's like a wave behind it, because I feel like for your strengths right now, it's that you can be very go with the flow. You can be very flexible, like water. You know, the Fool is a clean slate. It's a brand new beginning. And I feel like right now your strengths are that you're very easygoing, you're very open-minded, you are very go with the flow, you're very flexible, and you're very optimistic about just like seeing where the world takes you right now. And that's why I feel like this is such a different energy when I'm channeling. I feel like I'm channeling somebody who is already quite evolved as a person, and also as a soul, and as, you know, your journey in the universe right now. I feel like you're very evolved. But yeah, your strengths, I love it. It's like you're very carefree, you're very open-minded, very lighthearted. Like you're not taking things seriously, you're not trying to control things right now. You're allowing things to fall into place. Your energy is not chaotic. And I feel like you're just very curious. You're like, anything the universe puts in your path, you're just very curious. And like, I feel like you're very positive. You're very optimistic in life right now. So no matter what it is you're stumbling upon, you're viewing it in an optimistic manner. You know, you're viewing it as the glass half full instead of glass half empty. And I feel like that is your strength right now. You know, everything I just mentioned with the Fool, and the fact that the Fool is out here twice. It feels like you already have a huge advantage right now because of this easy go energy. Let me get a card for your weaknesses for group 2. A card for group 2's weaknesses. The Lovers. Interesting. So many major arcana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana already. So we have the Lovers as a weakness. So I could read this as like quite literally a weakness in your life right now is another person that could potentially be like, not like holding you back, but there could be a weakness of another person in your life that is influencing you to some extent. Or a weakness in your life is like longing for a soulmate, you know, seeking that partnership, because you seem very good and very like you have a lot of things. It seems very independent, and like you have a lot of your cups full, a lot of your cup, you're very emotionally fulfilled. But it feels like maybe for some of you, a weakness is that you don't have a relationship, or you don't have a love partner situation. So that makes you feel a little empty, and that's coming up as a weakness. Or for others of you, if you have somebody in your life, it's possible that they in some way could be a potential weakness for you right now. Let me clarify the Lovers. Can we clarify this Lovers as group 2's weakness? The 7 of Pentacles. The Lovers and the 7 of Pentacles. Huh. I think that's interesting. I think I could say the same thing, because the 7 of Pentacles is about hard work, you know, putting in the time and effort into something, building something, taking care of something, nurturing it, waiting for it to blossom and bloom and turn into something bigger. So it feels like, again, for some of you, your weakness is that you don't have this kind of a relationship and you want it. You want a committed relationship. You want like a serious long-term relationship. You want to be with somebody in that way, grow with somebody in that way. But you don't have that, especially if you have like everything else in your life. I feel like that's the one thing that's getting highlighted, is like the lack of a serious relationship or commitment with somebody. But for others of you, if you do have somebody, then again, I think, you know, because the 7 of Pentacles, there's like stuff on this card. Okay, the 7 of Pentacles, you know, it can talk about you've put a lot of time and effort into a relationship, into a connection, and you're waiting to see where it goes, or you're hoping it goes in your favor. So for some of you, again, yeah, it's either one of those two, but it feels like if you're in a relationship, then you've put a lot of time and effort into some kind of a connection, but for some reason it's coming up as a weakness. So maybe it's not really where you want it to be right now, or yeah, like something about the dynamic could change potentially, or you put a lot of emphasis on this connection, whether you have it or you don't, which is interesting. Here, I want to keep it like that because this card is so much prettier. Okay, let's see, a card for, is there anything you should change on your current path for group 2? Is there anything group 2 should change? 8 of Wands. To be a bit more, oh wow, look at that, bottom of the deck is the Empress. 8 of Wands, let me clarify, hold on. The Knight of Swords, Page of Wands, bottom of the deck. This is if there's anything you should change. I'm hearing like don't have any regrets, and to just really do what you want to do. Like don't hold yourself back. Don't place limitations on yourself. Allow yourself to do what you want to do, and obviously like stay safe and don't do crazy things. Don't put yourself in harm's way, but it almost feels like don't restrict yourself. I know it's interesting, we were just talking about that, like you feel like you have no restrictions, but I almost wonder if like deep down there are some restrictions, or there are things that you are afraid of, and there are things keeping you in your comfort zone. Or maybe from time to time you know, because I'm hearing like embrace uncertainty, allow yourself to not have restrictions or limitation, don't place limitations on yourself. And also just like have more fun, because it's interesting, because like the initial energy that we were picking up on, it's a very relaxing, peaceful, even the Hermit is here, it's a very like peaceful, relaxing, cozy energy. That's like how I was reading it. So it's also possible that Spirit is saying something to switch up in your life is to go out more, to like get out of your house more, or get out of your comfort zone more, even though you're happy in your comfort zone, or you're happy and you're very at peace in your immediate life with your lifestyle or career or spirituality or whatever it is. Even if you are happy in your immediate space, there's this energy of like putting yourself out there more, you know. Don't be afraid to like mingle, make new friends, meet new people, go on adventures. And maybe that's kind of what this Three of Cups was also talking about like putting yourself out there, making new friends, or like mingling, or like being more extroverted in a sense. And also I feel like speaking your truth, because especially when we feel comfy and cozy, maybe we don't really want to leave our comfort zone, or we don't want to like speak up for certain things, or like stand up for certain things, because life is good and we don't want to like shake it up too much to where like something bad happens. But almost feels like sometimes we can get too in our comfort zone, we could get too cozy, and I think they want you to either like speak up for something, or speak in general, like so talk to people, communicate to people in general, or putting yourself out there a little bit more with that Eight of Wands, but also just allowing yourself to expand, and don't place restrictions or limitations on yourself, or even on your dreams, or like where life is taking you. But I feel like a lot of you already are not doing that. So maybe it's more of like that, putting yourself out there, you know, getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of your bubble. It could also be something like that. Let's see. One card for how can you get on the right track if you're not already. Is there anything group 2 can do to get on the right track if they're not already? Oh, the Tower. Let's clarify. Let's clarify the Tower. Oh, you know what's so interesting? Because I feel a very peaceful energy from you, right? Like it really feels like somebody who is just living good, but maybe you are in your comfort zone, and that's like what I'm sensing. Because even with this weakness here, it feels like for those of you who are like seeking a relationship and seeking a partnership, then Spirit is saying like, for you to fix that, then maybe you should like put yourself out there more, you know. Because there was this one time I was listening to a reading, and she said something about like, your soulmate is not going to show up at your front door, you know, like knock on the door and ask you to come out of the house and be like, I'm your soulmate, here I am, I was looking for you and I found your home. You know what I mean? Like, you're this partnership or this connection that you're looking for, it's not going to come find you if you're just like, if you're kind of like closed off to it. You know, like you have to be somewhere for somebody to find you, and no one's going to find you at your home. So for some of you, it does feel like if you are seeking relationships, or maybe friendships or companionships and all of that partnership vibe, then maybe you should get out of the house a little bit, or like put yourself out there, put yourself in a position to mingle, or to like meet up with friends, or like have friends and have acquaintances, and like put yourself in the position for this to come into your life. For some of you, it's interesting that we have the Hermit, which talks about, you know, that introspective period, that transformative period. And for, again, this Lovers to come up as a weakness, maybe for some of you, there was a traumatic relationship from your past that has still left some kind of an imprint on you that you still have to work through. Because like maybe there's times where we are self-sabotaging relationships and connections because of something from our past, or we're afraid to get into a committed relationship because of something from our past. So it feels like, for, again, I keep coming back to this, it's like either there's a specific relationship that could have traumatized you, or a specific person that really hurt you, and now you're like blocked off to finding love ever again. And I think that could really come up as a weakness, because Spirit wants you to really heal from that. And once you have healed from it, then you wouldn't be so against it, or it's like you wouldn't react in certain ways. And maybe you realize it, maybe you don't. You know, for some of you, it could be more of a subconscious thing, but yeah. Or yeah, to really put yourself out there. I feel like it would be really easy for you to make friends. Like with the Fool being a strength, I feel like you could go anywhere and like chat people up, mingle. Like people are just drawn to you, or drawn to your personality, drawn to your energy. I think it would be easy for you to be social and be extroverted, but I think that from time to time, maybe, you know, you do kind of pull away from it. And Spirit is not saying you have to be extroverted 24/7, but I think there's just something here about just putting yourself out there a little bit. But I do want to clarify this Tower as, how can you get on the right path if you're not already? What is the Tower? Oh my god, the amount of like major arcana cards that we see are crazy. We have the Emperor. He looks like a little devil. Okay. Let's see. The Tower and the Emperor. In order for, how can you get on the right track if you're not already? If you're not on this path, or if you're not like up in this energy, which I feel like a lot of you are, but maybe something you can do to help you get here, or something you can just do in general. It does feel like to regain stability in your life if something doesn't go the way it was originally planned, or if there's like some kind of a Tower moment, I think there's a need for you to regain stability from it. Or like, don't let that define you. Don't let that Tower moment define you, for some of you. But I feel like this is the answer for like, if you're not on the right path. Like if you're kind of struggling to get to like this overall energy that we're talking about, I feel like that's what this is talking about, is to gain control of your life in moments where you feel like your life is falling apart, and to actually like be productive with it, or to move in a productive manner with it, even if something is falling apart. Interesting. Okay, group 2. I think that's everything I'm seeing. This Emperor is so interesting. He just looks like such a character. I also feel like for some of you, if there is some kind of a relationship or like masculine energy, it's like, don't allow them to like take over your mind, or like take over the situation, or like don't give up all of your control to somebody else. You know what I mean? Because this Emperor just looks like such a like womanizer, or like somebody that you would like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like villains and like shows like this, they're always like very attractive, but they're, you know, and then the girl always ends up giving like all her power to this person. So it kind of feels like, don't allow anybody to take your power from you. You know, always hold on to your personal power. That might not be for everybody, but you know, if that resonates, then you can definitely take that. Okay, I have some advice for you now for group number 2. I will say overall, I love this energy. I think it's very, very nice. All right, advice for group 2. Celebration. We were just talking about celebration. Moon dance with celebration, and there's 2 people on there. I'm telling you, there's a need for you to like go out, or like put yourself out there more, and you will find somebody or find people, whether it's romantic or platonic. I feel like you have to like put yourself out there more, or there could be some kind of a celebratory situation that you are invited to, or that you should just kind of maybe like, yeah, kind of embody that energy a little bit more. Or maybe some of you already are, and that's great, and you have a lot to celebrate. Advice for group 2. Ooh, Moonlight Serenade. Oh my god, that's like the same thing, and it's interesting. Both of these cards have music on them. Music notes. And this one says change your tune, and this is celebration with moon dance. So yeah, go out. I feel like that's literally Spirit saying, like, if you want certain things to happen, you need to put yourself in the environment to actually like find it or have it find you. So maybe change your tune about certain things. Or maybe there's something here about music. All right, anything else? Any other advice for group 2? Avoid drama. Okay. Moon maybe with intuition. Oh, this one says moon madness. So we have celebration, change your tune, avoid drama, and intuition. Let's see, anything else? Squirrel with spiritual maintenance. Be your own caretaker. Oh my. And then we have Ladybird with luck. All of your manifesting positive thoughts and visualizations have been heard. Okay, group number 2, thank you guys so much for letting me give you this reading. I hope it was helpful in any way. I feel like you're definitely on the right path. But yes, you know, there could be a little thing here and there that you could tweak to change things up a little bit, or to help get yourself on the right path, but feels like a really good energy overall. So I'm very happy for you, group 2. We have a Patreon if you're interested. The link is in the description, and viewers get to suggest the monthly readings, so it has personalized content on Patreon. But yeah, go ahead and check it out. Thank you so much for all of your support. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, if you chose this Lovers card with the Sodalite crystal, this is your group. Hello, group number 3. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm gonna set your crystal right there. And like I mentioned in the intro, this reading is all about, are you on the right track? So we're gonna go ahead and get started with an energy check with this deck here. And if you feel like this energy sounds like you, or this is maybe where you're headed, you know, then definitely stick around and watch the rest of the reading. But if the energy check does not resonate with you, then definitely check out a different group. So let's get right into it. I don't really know if there's much that I want to say about the Lovers. For some reason I am feeling about I'm feeling memories, like something from the past. And I don't know why. Maybe because like when you have like a locket like this, a lot of times it's like photos of somebody from the past that you put in there. But one thing that was really interesting is bottom of the deck is the 2 of Cups, which I didn't realize that until I literally sat down and like brought the deck back out, because I put the decks like away when I'm recording other groups. But then when I brought it back out, it kind of like I kind of saw the bottom and I was like, wait a second, and that's the 2 of Cups, and then we have the Lovers. So there definitely feels like there could be something about a romantic connection, or somebody that, yeah, just some kind of a romantic connection, whether this person is in your life or not in your life. So I just wanted to mention that with the Lovers here. So I want to start off with this deck here, and I want to get the energy check for group 3. This is all about, are you on the right track? Energy check for group 3, are you on the right track? So this is your current energy. So if this doesn't sound like you, check out a different group. But let's see, what is group 3's current energy? Oh, no one wanted to come out, but it didn't. Group 3's current energy. We have the Oracle of Swords with the number 62. So this is the Queen of Swords. Group 3's current energy. Oh my gosh, you got 2 queens. We have the Queen of Wands, Oracle of Wands. You know what's interesting is, as I was looking at this and all these beautiful, there's a beautiful peacock here, there's these butterflies and all these beautiful birds, but all of them look like they have opened up their wings. And then we see a butterfly as well. So as I was looking at this, I was feeling like you're finally like finding your self-worth, or you're finally taking control back in your life. And then I love that the Queen of Wands came out, because that is like just reassuring to me that you are taking your power back. I feel like you realized your self-worth, you realized what you deserve, you realized your potential, and you realize that you can spread your wings and fly. Like nobody needs to be holding you back in life. And I feel like that's something you could have recently realized about yourself, or there's just this newfound confidence that you have within yourself, which is very, very cool that we have 2 queens out. I also feel like with the Queen of Swords, you are setting boundaries. You're setting healthy boundaries, because now you know your worth, so you know what you deserve, so now you're setting boundaries. You know, it's all like domino effects. It like one thing leads to the next, which leads to the next, and then suddenly you're living a completely different life than you once were. But I love this because I feel like you are setting healthy boundaries. You're not allowing negativity in your life, or you're not giving up your energy to just anybody. Let's see, group 3's current energy. And butterflies could be significant because we see them here and here. Group 3's current energy. For some of you, the way I was talking about, there could have been a connection from the past. It feels like you are moving on from that, or you have ended it, or you're like kind of over it, and you're like moving forward from it. For some of you, you could still be energetically connected to it, or you're still reminiscing about that past connection. But I think Spirit is showing you that you are on the right path when it comes to choosing yourself, and when it comes to taking care of yourself, and this new confidence and this new vision that you have for your life. You are on the right path with that. Because there is this energy of like you are like meant to leave something behind, especially for those of you, because this is feeling romantic. So for those of you, if there is something romantic that you're leaving behind, Spirit is saying like that is the right decision for now. Group 3's current energy. I guess I'll take that too. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune. I love that. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, you know what's so interesting about these 2 hands that are like meeting up here? It really feels like Spirit is saying to you, when you remove the things and the people that are not meant to be in your life, then you have space for the right things and the right people to find you. I feel like this is 2 people that are finding each other at the right time, in the right place. It's because you have cleared your area, like you've cleared your space, is what I'm trying to say. You have opened up space for some new person or new energy or even new opportunities, new blessings to come into your life, because you're not holding on to things from the past. And I also feel like because you found this newfound independence and like freedom, in a way, it's how it's coming through. It feels like a lot of doors are opening up for you, and like new opportunities are opening up for you. And it all started with walking away from something for group 3. And I love that we have the Eight of Pentacles here. It's such a cute little image. The Eight of Pentacles talks about hard work, stability, consistency, maintaining something. And I feel like this is you to yourself. You know, this is you putting that time and effort into your independence, into your own foundation, into your career, into your own stability in life. Like you're actually building something for yourself, something stable for yourself. And I just love that. So I feel like whatever it is you walked away from, it was the right thing to do. Or for some of you, if you're like debating walking away from something where you know deep down it might not be for you, but maybe you're still holding on to the situation, I think that there is something you have to walk away from. And I think right now you have to focus on your own independence and your own stability in life. And I love the Wheel of Fortune that's here, because I feel like Spirit is saying to you, they are going to come in and kind of just do what they need to do, and they want you to be very go with the flow right now. They're saying, like, just focus on your immediate life. So that's like your career, your immediate home, your immediate surroundings, your foundation, your stability, your finances. Like, focus on the things that are a part of your immediate life in, like, right now, and we will take care of the rest. We will open up the doors for you. We will do whatever needs to be done on the larger scale, but you just focus on your immediate energy for now. I love this energy, group 3, and you could have definitely gone through some kind of a transformative energy as well with all these butterflies. Let's see, I have another deck here, and I want to see what your guides want you to know. Is there anything for group 3 that their guides want them to know? For group 3, what do your guides want you to know? For group 3, what do your guides want you to know in your current energy? What do they want you to know in your current energy? Oopsies! I don't want to take all that. What do your guides want you to know in your current energy? Three of Cups. And let's get one more card. What do your guides want you to know? And then we have the Knight of Swords. Your guides want you to know that you have so much potential here in this lifetime, especially with the Knight of Swords here. It feels like you just have to keep moving forward. The only way is moving forward. And I feel like the more that you step into that forward moving energy and you know what you want to accomplish, you have these goals, you have these dreams and desires. It's like when you have that vision of what it is you want to do, the potential is endless. And I feel like they're really advising you to just keep moving forward and don't let anyone get in your way, or don't place limitations on yourself, because I just feel like you are limitless. Like, your energy is so vast and your potential is so big. And they're saying, like, just keep doing it, just keep moving forward. And it's interesting that there's so much armor on this knight and the horse here. So that also feels like even if something is tough right now and it's not as easy, they're saying just keep going through it. Put your armor on and keep going straight, because it will get easier. So for some of you, you might be going through more of a difficult period right now in this transformation, or whatever's happening. It could be a bit difficult for you, and they don't want you to give up. They want you to keep going, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I feel like this is the hard part, and once you're done with the hard part, it's just like smooth sailing from here. It's interesting, group 2 also got the 3 of Cups in the exact same spot. And I feel like this is the energy of, like, remind yourself to have fun. Remind yourself to be lighthearted. Because especially if you're kind of going through something internal and something pretty deep, you know, just don't forget that you can laugh. Don't forget that you can have fun. You can meet up with people. You can have friends. You can, you know, have a good time. You can celebrate life. I think that when we go through such, like, a shift in our energy, we feel like we just have to, like, become a hermit and just stay in our space and, like, just focus on healing, which is true, but Spirit is saying you can, like, add a little bit of fun to the mix. You know, you don't have to be serious all the time. Like, you know, for some reason laughter is coming through. They're really saying, like, don't forget to laugh, don't forget to, like, have people over, or, like, be in good company and, like, laugh with people and, like, enjoy people's company, people around you. There's something like that going on for sure for group number 3. But I feel like this is a really good energy. I feel like you have a good head on your shoulders right now, and you have a good idea of, like, what you're walking away from and what you are entering. So now I want to go through, I have some questions to answer which will help you along your journey So first, let's get a card for group 3's strengths. Let's get a card for group 3's strengths here. A card for group... okay. Keeper of Coins. This is the King of Pentacles, I'm pretty sure. And it's interesting that there's a key here. We have Temperance, bottom of the deck. Oh, interesting. We also have the Three of Swords right here. I feel like one of your strengths, group 3, is that even if life gets a little sad, or there's heartbreak or disappointment, or if there's anything that's like not going the way that you plan something to go, I feel like you can bounce back really well. And I also feel like you can see all different perspectives of the situation. So if there is sadness or heartbreak or struggle or something going on, I feel like you don't get tunnel visioned, but you're able to see all perspectives of the situation and like really like understand what's happening as like the bigger picture instead of focusing on one thing. And I feel like that helps your healing, or helps you move forward from certain things, is you're able to see all the different perspectives and truly understand like why something is happening or why it's meant to happen, instead of just seeing the surface level of the situation. I feel like you can go very deep within any situation in your life, whether it's good or sad. And I think that really is one of your strengths and really helps you as a person. I also feel like you're very patient, because Temperance is a very patient energy. I also feel like you can be very fun and extroverted, but you also have a good like downtime kind of an energy, or like you can be fun and flirty and outgoing, but I think you also have like those introverted moments where you kind of just want to be within your own space. And I think Spirit is saying just find a good balance between being extroverted and being introverted, instead of leaning too heavily in one or the other. But I feel like you just have a really great balance in your personality in general. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of patience with Temperance, and like you understand the bigger picture in life. I love that the King of Pentacles is here, because it's a very grounding energy. It's a very practical, realistic, down-to-earth energy. It's somebody that works very hard, and again, who sees the bigger picture. And it's interesting that earlier we were saying Spirit wants you to focus on the little things or on the details right now, or on your immediate life right now, and they will worry about the bigger picture and take care of the bigger picture. But I think sometimes, I think that's important, because here we're talking about you are good at looking at the bigger picture, but I think right now in your life you need to just focus on the details, and you need to focus on the day-to-day and your immediate surroundings, and not focus on the bigger picture right now for some reason. But I feel like you do well, you know, when you are looking at the bigger picture. And I also feel like you plan long term. You know, this is the energy of somebody who is not looking for immediate satisfaction, or is not planning for immediate satisfaction. They're planning like a chess player, like you're already thinking multiple steps ahead, or you're planning for something more long term, planting seeds for something more long term. So you're good at like not needing immediate satisfaction for something. Like you have a good understanding that what you do now might not give you something in return right now, but it will give you something in return in the future. So I love that. I feel like you are a very, very mature, very wise energy. And maybe for some of you, you've already been in this, you know, Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, this divine feminine energy for a while, because it doesn't have to be that everyone had somebody that, you know, a relationship or something that they are walking away from right now. This could have been just your energy of what you've been in for a while. Like the divine feminine is here, the hustle, the hard work, the long-term stability is here. Somebody who understands the bigger picture of life and of situations. And with the Wheel of Fortune, it feels very divinely timed, divinely orchestrated. So this could already be an energy that you have been in. It doesn't have to be something that you are shifting into. You know, some of you could be, some of you could totally be awakening something, but some of you could already be in this energy. Okay, so now I want to see, what is a weakness for group 3, because we always have strengths and weaknesses, and I want to talk about both. So we saw your strengths. Let's see, what is one of group 3's weakness that you want to make aware to them? What is a weakness for group 3? What is a weakness for group 3 here? We have the 9 of Swords. It was in the reverse. I think you could struggle with overthinking or struggle with your mental health from time to time. There could be things that like weigh on you pretty heavily in your mind, and that could be a weakness of yours. And it's interesting because I see somebody who's just kind of like at peace, kind of living in a good energy, and then suddenly you're reminded of something, or something comes up and it kind of bothers you or bothers your mental health. I also feel like you could be very intuitive, because a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but now for some reason when I'm looking at this 9 of Swords and the clouds here, it feels like you could be picking up on people or energies because you're intuitive, and sometimes that messes with your head a little bit. So yeah, for some of you, I think maybe controlling your intuition could help, especially if you're very psychic in that sense, and you're kind of going around and picking up on things or channeling things randomly, channeling people randomly. I think that could be something that gets to you. I want to clarify the 9 of Swords though. Let's clarify. The Proclaimer. So many keys. So many keys. We have 1 here. We got 2 keys here. And this is the Hierophant. And then we have the Sun with that eye. I do feel, okay, so I feel like a weakness for you is to lighten up a little bit. I think you could be very serious about a lot of things. And maybe that's where that message of like, don't forget to laugh, don't forget to have fun, like take it easy from time to time. I feel like that's where that was coming in, because maybe you are like, I don't know, it just feels like everything is very serious a lot of the times. And I think Spirit wants you to kind of have a more lighthearted approach to life. And again, we were talking about like one of your traits and one of your qualities is that you plan long term, you think long term, but maybe you like abandon the current situation a little bit. And that's why Spirit wants you to focus more on your current situation and not the long term, even though it's a strength of yours, and that is a great quality to have, because then you're not seeking, temporary satisfaction, and you are planning long term. But I think too much of that could actually turn into a weakness, because now we're not living in the moment, or we're not appreciating what we have right now in the moment. But it does feel like you need to like kind of be in the moment from time to time. But I do think, yeah, there's like, you take things very seriously, and sometimes you need to have more of a lighthearted approach to something. Because the Sun was also in the reverse when I first saw this card. And I think it's possible that from time to time, yeah, like when that anxiety kicks in, or that overthinking or mental conflict stuff kicks in, I think it can be tough for you to find like your way back. I don't know why it's coming through like that, like finding your way back to reality, or finding your way back to the situation sometime. And I am also hearing Spirit say, like, not every situation needs a grand, huge answer. Like, the way it's coming through, it's like not everything needs like this huge prophetic answer. Like, it could be something little. And I think that goes back to focusing on the details, and just think about the little things from time to time as well. Like, not everything needs like this huge revelation of an answer. And I also feel like maybe seeking happiness within yourself, or finding happiness within yourself instead of seeking it from, because the way it's coming through, and for some of you, again, not everybody, just take whatever resonates, but for some of you, it's like you could put a lot of hopes and like expectations on something. So say like you're working really, really hard on something and you have a lot of expectations that as soon as you accomplish this, it will give you so much emotional satisfaction and you'll be so happy because you just accomplished it. But then when you actually get there, it's almost like kind of disappointing because it's not, you don't get the emotional satisfaction the way that you thought you would. Something like that for some of you. Okay, so for group 3, one card. So let's see, what should you change, if anything? If group 3 were to change anything to help them in their current path, what would they change? If they needed to change anything, what would group 3 change? They needed to change anything, what would group 3 change? There's the key again, and another eye, and the Fool in the reverse. Let me clarify. Can you clarify the Fool in the reverse, please? Whoopsies. Oh, there's literally a card that says the past, which is interesting because when I sat down with you guys, initially I was like, there's something about the past here that is coming up. So that's interesting that it says the past. It's interesting the Fool is in the reverse though, because the Fool talks about a brand new beginning, a clean slate, but it's in the reverse, which is, so it's making me think of like the inability to have a new beginning or the inability to take that leap of faith into something new. And then we have the past. So maybe for some of you, maybe it's more true than I thought that there is something from the past that you are still like holding on to, or maybe even energetically connected to something from the past, which is like hindering you taking that leap of faith. It's hindering your new beginning. Because you don't have a clean slate, so you're unable to take that true leap of faith into something new here. And for some of you, again, not everyone, but for some of you, there's a need to really detach from the past and like leave the past in the past and to heal from that and to be able to move forward without the past. And I love that the Apprentice of Coins, so this is the Page of Pentacles. I love that. Or this is the Knight of Pentacles actually, because then it's showing you that the moment you do detach from something from the past here, you're planting these new seeds and you're truly embracing that new beginning and you're truly having a new beginning. And I was saying that earlier too, like when you bring things, like you have to make space for the new blessings and the new opportunities or the new people. Like you have to make space for it. You can't bring things in from the past and occupy this space and then expect somebody else to fill that space. Like for example, if we are looking for our soulmate or our next relationship, but then we are still holding on to the energy of a past relationship, and so that space is occupied by the past. But then we're sitting there with it occupied and then thinking, I want this new person to come in and occupy this space, but they can't. They could literally show up to your door, but somebody else is already in that spot. It's already occupied. They can't sit there. They can't do anything there. So then they leave. You know what I mean? So that's what I was saying earlier. It's like you're not able to attract certain things in your life if that space is already occupied, if something else is already there. And I think for some of you, there is a need to really open up that space and to detach from whatever it is that's from the past, because then that new opportunity, that new person, that new thing could actually come in and plant some seeds and take root in this space that's now available. Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing as when people say, like, if somebody's not emotionally available, it's because something else is already in that space, so their emotions are not available for the other person. It's kind of like that same example. But I love that because I think that would really help you kind of jumpstart something here and plant those new seeds and like truly have that new beginning. Whoopsies. So my last question here, let's see, for group 3 is, how can you get on the right track if you're not already? So it's kind of similar, but let's see, how can group 3 get on the right track if they're Oh my gosh. If they're not already, I'll take both of these. Two of Cups in the reverse. Technically, when I saw the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck, it was in the reverse. Did you notice I kind of had to flip the deck upside down to show you the Two of Cups? So this was already in the reverse when I saw it originally. And then there's another key. Keeper of Wands. This is a King of Wands. Yeah, I really feel like Spirit is saying to unlock something new in your life, you have to detach. There is something still occupying that space in your heart. And I think that in order to unlock something, we have so many keys. I feel like Spirit has already given you the keys. You already have the means to unlock that door, but you're not, it's like you're not using them in the proper way. So I feel like something that you can do to maybe help get on the right path or continue on the right path, or, you know, help plant these seeds to have a new beginning, is to really detach from whatever this is from your past that is still kind of, that you are still holding on to, whether it's that you have hope, whether it's that you are still kind of, I don't know, like people hold on to things for so many different reasons, right? Whether it's hope, whether it's a trauma bond, it could be so many things. But I love that this is here because it's showing you that you have to detach from something in order to unlock this new chapter of your life, to open up this new door, and for you to kind of continue on in this confidence. So for some of you, this here is more like, if you're not doing these things, then, you know, this is what would help you get on the right path. So that's up to your own discretion to know if you have already done this. Then if you have, then great. Then I feel like that's what brings you up to this really amazing energy. But for those of you who just need a little help with something, I think this is what Spirit is saying, that this would help you find what you're looking for. Okay, then. Let's go ahead and get some advice for group 3. Ooh, transformation. We've been really talking about transformations for group 3. So that is very true. Shadow work. Love it. These cards really go hand in hand with transformation and shadow work. And it says go for it. Oh, and I'll take this too. Oh, look, and then butterflies. Watch for the signs. And then this says new beginnings, or new moon with beginnings. Advice for group 3. Polar bear with nurture. Allow any anxieties and worries to be gently released and offered up to be healed. And yeah, we were talking about a weakness right now being anxiety or overthinking. So that could be, you know, something. Oops. Okay. I've said oops a lot, which is weird. I don't really normally say that much. We have Fox with shadow work. You have shadow work out here twice, group 3. There are no shadows without light. And I said that earlier, that you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. But look at that. You have shadow work out here 2 times. So I think Spirit is trying to say something to you about that. Okay, group number 3, thank you so much for letting me give you this reading. Thank you so much for being here. Patreon, if that's something you're interested in, and the viewers on Patreon get to suggest the monthly readings. So if you're interested in personalized content, you should go ahead and check it out. It's in the description below. But yes, take good care of yourself, you guys. Have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Hey guys, if you chose this Queen of Cups with the purple seer stone and the Shadowscapes Tarot deck, this is your group. Hello, group number 4. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to set your crystal right there. And like I mentioned in the intro, this reading is all about, are you on the right track? So we're going to go ahead and see what is your current energy. We're going to see what's happening, and like if there's anything you need to shift in your everyday life or in your energy to kind of like align to the right track or to where you're meant to be right now. We'll talk about all that. And, you know, if you are doing the right things and you are on the right track, then we will give you confirmation about that. So that's pretty much what I wanted to do today. So let's get into it. With this group, it's interesting because I remember when I was trying to shuffle this deck to get your intro card of the Queen of Cups, I literally like didn't even have a full shuffle. I kind of just like split the deck and was like about to shuffle, and then this card just like fell out, and it did fall out face up, so I saw what it was as soon as it fell out, and my immediate thought was like, this energy, and I did refer to her, or yeah, I referred to the card as a she, because as soon as I saw the Queen of Cups, I just saw a very feminine energy. So I was like, oh, she is trying to get out, or like she's trying to make herself known, and just feels like, you know, this energy is ready to come out of that box. It's like ready to be like, I'm here, you're gonna have to deal with me, this is my life, or finding some confidence, or just feeling like, here I am, you know. So that was interesting, the way the card like fell out, and just my initial thoughts with that. So I wanted to mention that. Just even this image of the queen here, she just looks like, here I am, you know, I'm out, I'm free, I'm ready to be myself, which is very interesting. So let me move that aside. I want to start off with this deck here, and we are going to get the energy check now. So if you feel like the current energy that we pick up on doesn't really sound like you, or doesn't sound like where you're headed, then definitely check out a different group. Okay, let's see. What is group 4's current energy? Ooh, we have the Two of Wands. I love that. With the number 23, that could be somebody's age. That could also be a birthday number. Oh, wow. You have the Two of Wands and you have the Two of Cups. Okay. Wow, that's so interesting, because I literally saw 222 earlier. And that's so weird because I saw it, and then in my mind, I was thinking, oh, like I haven't mentioned these numbers, because normally I do, but I don't think for any of the readings, I don't really think I'd been mentioning numbers that I'm seeing. And I literally saw 222 and I was thinking, oh, I haven't mentioned that. And then we see 22. This is the number 37. I guess I'll take this too. It kind of flipped out at the bottom. The Lovers with the number 6, and then we have the Elder of Pentacles with 77. I just said 22, and then now we also see 77. Okay. This Two of Wands really feels like that energy I saw in the very beginning with this group of like, I'm coming out of my box, like I am expanding and you can't really stop me. Every time I see the Two of Wands, like this card is about, you know, it's about options, it's about expansion, it's about taking some kind of a next step towards something. And I feel like in this sense, it's like you really coming out of your box or coming out of your bubble and saying like, I am here. You know, I'm going to see what else is out there. I'm going to explore. I'm not going to place limitations on myself. Because with the Two of Wands, like that's what kind of branches us out into all of our other options that we have, and like helps us realize that there is so many options out there. There's so much potential. There's so much of this world out there. And I feel like that's really important, because in your current energy, you just feel like there's no limitations on you right now. And I'm sensing this like physically, but also like emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. It feels like you're in a very expansive energy and you're just growing a lot. And it does feel like you're not gonna hide yourself. You're not hiding your energy right now, and you're not really gonna allow anybody to hide you or like tuck you away, you know? So that's really interesting that we see that energy here. Yeah, so your energy feels very expansive, group 4. So this could be your current energy, or if you see yourself stepping into this energy, I feel like that is what would put you on the right track, is feeling this expansive energy within you. It's interesting that we have like night and day with the 2 of Cups here. And it's interesting that we have the heart and that we have the flowers. You know, we see the roses coming out of the heart here. Because normally the 2 of Cups would talk about like some kind of a soulmate connection to me. I always see it as like there is some other counterpart. But in this sense, since there's only one heart with 2 roses coming out of it, it feels like you're more so listening to your own intuition. You're listening to your heart. And I think whatever next steps you're taking, however you are expanding in your life, whatever it is you're doing, it's because your heart is telling you to do so. I feel like this is you balancing night and day within yourself, balancing what you really went through or what you really want and where you want to go. I feel like even with this Queen of Cups, like, doesn't she look, I keep grabbing the card underneath, doesn't she look very happy, like very emotionally satisfied? Or she feels like this next step or this journey is going to take me to my own emotional fulfillment. But in a way, maybe some of you have been like, you had to be quiet, you were forced to be in that box, you were forced to, you know, you couldn't speak your mind, or you couldn't do what you wanted to do, you couldn't pursue your own happiness. And this heart here is showing me that like you're finally stepping into an energy of like pursuing your own happiness, pursuing what your heart is telling you to do, instead of maybe what other people are telling you to do. And then we have the Elder of Pentacles. This is the King of Pentacles. You're finding so much stability in the fact that you're able to do what you want to do. And I love this. You know, now that I'm thinking about this, I'm pretty sure all of our groups for our readings today got very positive energies of like an ideal version of yourself, or like where you're headed, or your current path, your current energy, like all of this. It's like, I feel like for the collective in general, or at least the collective that's watching my groups that I'm like tapping into, I feel like we're all really like realizing our potential, realizing that, you know, we can live our lives how we want to live, and we don't have to have somebody put us in a box. You know what I mean? Like we can't live with restrictions. And I feel like that's something I'm seeing very heavily here. But with the Elder of Pentacles, it's like you've really found stability within this life that you are creating. And you're so happy with it. You know what I mean? And the Elder of Pentacles here, you know, it does talk about financial abundance. It does talk about financial stability and being comfortable with your money, but it doesn't have to be that way. You know, this could also be like you're so emotionally satisfied, and that's where a lot of your stability is coming in. You know, maybe you're not where you want to be yet financially, but I think Spirit is saying like your energy, you're really becoming the ideal version of yourself. So even if you don't have everything that you could possibly want right now, you're still very comfortable and very stable within yourself. But for a lot of you, you're definitely like building financial abundance and financial stability with whatever it is you're trying to do. Or it's like you're just trying to support yourself and you're trying to be independent in this way, which is really nice. This Lovers is interesting because it randomly plopped out of the deck. I could read this Lovers literally, because we have the 2 of Cups here as well. I could read this literally as like a romantic connection. Either you are manifesting a romantic connection, or you are meeting, or you've met somebody very recently, or you're meeting somebody very soon. There is this sense of like newfound independence with group 4. So that's why I don't know if there's like actively somebody in your life right now in the sense of like a partnership, but with both of these here, it feels like you're manifesting the ideal partner, especially because they're not really touching yet. They're kind of in a distance with their hands. It feels like you know who you are, you know what you want out of life, and now you are actively manifesting your ideal partner. But it really does feel like you're pouring into yourself right now for your own, you know, your own independence here. So I don't really know if you're actively looking for love right now, but it feels like you know what you would want in love if you were looking for it. Also, my allergies are like really bad, so I apologize if I sound really stuffy. Let's go in with this other deck that I have here, and I just want to see, you know, what do your guides want you to know? For group 4, what do your guides... Okay. For group 4, what do your guides want you to know? There we go. Oh, the Knight of Cups. Oh, that's interesting. Because we have the Two of Cups, we have the Lovers, and we have the Knight of Cups, but I just don't feel like you... I don't know, like I really sense a newfound independence for group 4, so I'm just like, if you, this is what I'm sensing. I don't know if you are actively looking for a relationship. Maybe you are, you know, maybe for some of you, you are, because we're seeing a theme of love here. But I feel like for some of you, it's almost like you don't realize that somebody is coming in. I feel like you're so happy doing you and finally having this version of yourself that like you don't realize some kind of a romantic interest is coming into your life. I do feel like this person is noticing you, and they like, you know, they notice you and they want to pursue you in some way, but it almost feels like you don't know. Or this could also be Spirit saying, if you do have somebody, for some of you, Spirit could be saying that like that is a good person, like that is a reliable person if you have somebody. If you don't have somebody, they're saying somebody is coming in, somebody is noticing you, they want to pursue you. Or a third option is Spirit is saying that you will find the ideal partner that you have in your head. Like you will find that perfect person, so there's no need for you to settle for less than that. Let me get one more card. What do your guides want you to know, group 4? We have the Queen of Swords and we have the 8 of Wands. I love the 8 of Wands. It's one of my favorite cards. I could interpret this in two ways, especially because I think that Queen of Swords did come out in the reverse. If I'm reading it with the Queen of Swords in the reverse, I would read it as to kind of let your walls down a little bit, because with the 8 of Wands here, this is expansion. You know, we've been talking about expansion, but this is literally Jupiter energy and Sagittarius energy. So it's like, this is all about expansion. You cannot be put in a box. And I think the universe is trying to tell you that you don't even realize where your life will take you, or you don't even realize your potential. So there is a need for you to kind of let your walls down a little bit, because that way you can allow certain things to happen. You know, because when we have our walls up and we are very guarded with ourselves or with our opportunities and our experiences, we tend to say no to a lot of things, or we tend to like kind of dismiss a lot of things, and then we don't have those experiences, and you know, we don't let those things in our life, and then we miss out on a lot. And I feel like Spirit is saying, you, in order for you to really evolve into who you're meant to be, you need to let your guard down, because a lot of things are going to come in and you have to accept them, or you have to kind of go with it to see where it takes you. But if you have your walls up, then you're not going to let that happen, and then it's not going to take you where it needs to take you. Because I just feel like you're just growing. You're growing so much spiritually, physically, mentally, maybe even with your career, maybe with your purpose here on earth. It's like you're just growing very quickly, and they don't want you to have walls up. They want you to be able to experience everything that life is throwing your way. And then if I was to read the Queen of Swords upright with, oh my God, I just realized she's literally holding someone's head. She literally said, I just cut your head off. Oh my God, that's so interesting, because there's a unicorn here and there's a unicorn here. And then here, it almost looks like this would have been the person on the unicorn, and there is a person on the unicorn. Huh. That almost makes me feel like the message where it's like you will find the ideal person of your dreams, so don't settle. That almost makes a lot of sense with the way she just like cut something out of her life. Because maybe somebody's like pestering you, or somebody is like actively trying to get you to like date them or go out with them or whatever it is, but you're like, I have higher standards now, or I know I deserve better. And I think spirit is saying to you, for some of you, like, you don't have to settle, because the ideal version of your ideal partner, like, somebody is out there and they will find you. And maybe that's another reason to not have your walls up and not have your guard up, because there is somebody out there that is trying to come into your life and trying to find you. But maybe if we're hung on to somebody from the past, or we have our walls up, then maybe we would miss our potential partner that's trying to come into our life. You know what? I don't even know how else I could interpret this. I was going to say something and I totally forgot about the Queen of Wands or Queen of Swords being upright. With, I guess how I could read this is, don't settle. You know, like, you have high expectations, you have high standards, and you know what you deserve, so don't settle. You know, the Queen of Swords, she's very good with her boundaries. She's very good with knowing who deserves to be in her life and who doesn't, and who deserves her energy and who doesn't. Like, she's very good about that. And I think Spirit is saying to you, you know, life is going to take you to so many places, and we don't want you to settle. You know, there's no need for you to settle, ever. You know, you will always find exactly what you were looking for, or more than that. So you truly don't have to settle for anything. Okay. So I want to go in. There is definitely like a divine feminine energy that is coming through for this group. I think honestly for most of my groups, I'm always sensing a divine feminine, and I think it's just because I have more feminine energies that are watching my videos in general, but definitely for this group, it's coming through as strong divine feminine. Okay, so now I want to answer some questions regarding your journey. So first, let's go ahead and see, what are your strengths for group 4? What are your strengths? Okay. Oh my gosh. We have the Nine of Pentacles, and then we have the High Priestess coming out together. There's that divine feminine again. Independence is definitely one of your strengths, group 4, because with the Nine of Pentacles, this is somebody who has created the life of their dreams, but they worked hard for it and they did it on their own. It's a very independent energy. There's a lot of security. It's a very self-sufficient energy as well. And it's like you're really taking care of yourself. You're nurturing yourself. You're loving yourself, and you're providing for yourself. And we were all really talking about this independence. And that's why I just feel like I just don't know if there is like a partner in your life right now, because your energy just seems so independent, and it seems very happy to be in this independence. And I feel like that is one of your strengths right now, is the fact that you can be independent and you find strength in it and you find comfort in your independence. You know, I think that sometimes being single or being independent can have a negative connotation to it, but I feel like you empower it. You know, you love it right now. And I think that is one of your strengths that's coming through, that's really going to help you navigate life, but also help you, you know, take you where you need to go, is the fact that you can do this by yourself. You can do this for yourself. You don't have to rely on anybody, and you know that you are capable enough to do all of this on your own and to give it to yourself. And we were kind of already seeing that with the Elder of Pentacles here. You could be very musically gifted. This person, fairy thing here, is playing the piano. So it's making me think that like you could be very musically gifted. If you are, Spirit is encouraging you to get into it, get back into it, or to continue playing music, to create music, because I think that's something that could really help you, you know, help you out in life in any way. And with the High Priestess here, your intuition is on point. You know, for this to come out as your strengths, I actually don't think any other group got High Priestess as their strengths. And this is showing me that you are so intuitive, and you and the universe are like this, and they're saying to you, like, you need to use it to your advantage. The fact that you are so psychic, the fact that you're so intuitive, you're so in the know of what's happening, you need to use it to your advantage here, because it will truly take you to the places you need to go to. So I love that coming out for your strengths. And this is literally Venus in Virgo. And Venus is the most abundant energy there is. And Virgo being an earth sign, it's showing me that you will always find abundance within yourself, but also you'll always create abundance no matter where you go. Like, you don't need a lot of material things. And we were kind of saying that earlier too. You don't need a lot of, flashy things or material things. Like, you will be able to sustain yourself no matter where you go, and that's one of your strengths. Okay, so, with strengths, we also have weaknesses. So let me see, what is a weakness for group 4? Oh my god, there's the Lovers, bottom of the deck. 6 of Swords. I wonder why the Lovers is coming out so much. Maybe for some of you, there is a relationship that you are moving on from, or some kind of a connection that you are moving on from. I want to clarify the 6 of Swords as a weakness. Can we clarify the 6 of Swords as a weakness? The Emperor. There we go. We are seeing a divine masculine energy for the first time. 6 of Swords as a weakness. So 6 of Swords talks about a peaceful transition. We're moving from one thing to the next, and it's easy. It's an easy transition. So if I was to view that as a weakness, maybe sometimes it's hard for you. Like, maybe sometimes when things happen easily, or there is a peaceful transition, it doesn't feel right to you. Because maybe you're somebody who has always struggled in some way. So then when the universe is finally allowing things to be easygoing in your life, you question it, and you're like, wait a second, like, it shouldn't be that easy, because I've always struggled, or I've always had to work really hard for what I want, or for the next thing. So when the universe is like giving you things now, you're just like, that doesn't feel right, And maybe that's that guard being up, because we were saying, like, the universe, there's so much expansive energy going on that they want you to let your guard down so things can move easily and flow easily, and you're not putting up these restrictions. So that makes sense. Like, maybe the universe in this new era of your life, they're giving you things, they're like, you deserve it, so we're giving you a lot of blessings, and you're like, wait a second, like, this is too easy. What's the catch? I almost feel like you question things, and then you actually maybe even, like, I don't want to say self-sabotage, but maybe when something is too easy, you block it, and you're like, you put those walls up, and you're just like, wait a second, I don't want it because it's too easy. Like, there must be a catch. Something must happen. Like, something bad's gonna happen. And I think you kind of freak out and put these walls up. And I think Spirit is saying to you, like, life doesn't always have to be hard. You don't always have to struggle for something. And maybe you did. And we're giving you all the pats on the back. Kudos to you if you did struggle and you had to get through things and it was tough. But I think, like, you're entering this very peaceful era in your life, and they want you to embrace the peace of mind. They want you to embrace how easy things are coming to you, and how it's just flowing so naturally to you because you deserved it and you worked to this point. And that makes a lot of sense about what we were saying earlier about let your walls down. Yeah, that's interesting to come up as a weakness. And also with the Emperor coming up as a weakness as well, you feel like in order for you to have stability or independence, or to, like, have that thing, right, foundation, it must be difficult for you to get there. Because even with the Emperor, this is talking about stability. This is that masculine energy that we see here with the King as well. And this is stability and this foundation. And things are easy and things are good because it's like you've already worked for it and there it is. But it almost feels like your weakness is that you think you have to continue to struggle for stability. You have to continue to struggle for that foundation. Or even for you to go from A to B, you have to continue to struggle to get there. But Spirit is saying, no, you don't have to always struggle. It can be easy. And we want it to be easy from now on. And I think, this this could go as far back as your childhood. Like maybe it was just ingrained in you that you have to struggle in order to make it. And I think that is a mindset that Spirit wants you to come out of, because they're saying that's just not your narrative anymore. That's not your life anymore. You don't have to. And I think that's, especially with things going so well for you and you're finally feeling happy and things are falling into your lap easily, I think you will find roadblocks where you are questioning, why is it so easy? How interesting. I think that's the first time I got a message like that. And I also think with the Emperor here, a weakness of yours is maybe trusting. It's interesting because a strength of yours is that you're extremely intuitive. And you and the universe are like this with your intuition. But then a weakness is like you have a hard time trusting that intuition, or trusting that there is a plan for you, or it almost feels like you always had to do everything yourself. So then when the universe is saying, I want to help you, I want to give you things, you're like, what? Why now? There's almost like this questioning of, I just don't trust this situation to just fall into my lap. And I feel like that is a weakness, is you trusting something other than yourself. Which is so real. Oh my God, because I'm the exact same way. So like thinking about that, I'm like, that is so legit of a message. Because I get it. If you resonate with that, like I totally get you, because I'm the exact same way, to where I'm like, I would rather do it myself. I would rather work hard for something. I would rather give it to myself instead of just assume that it's going to fall into my lap and assume that the universe is going to give it to me. I'm better with that now. When I was younger, especially before I, really tapped into my intuition and got myself here. I was very much, I have to do it myself. I have to do everything myself, and I will not trust anybody. Let alone this mystical, magical being that I can't even see, you know what I mean? So I get it. I totally understand. That is definitely something that takes time to come out of that. And now it's crazy because when I think back to it, it's like, yeah, like at times I'm still hesitant, but I couldn't imagine living a life where I don't trust the universe now. Like I almost did such a 360 flip on that, to where I was on this extreme end of very like cynical, but then now I'm on this other end of like, yeah, like I trust them 99% of the time now. And I can't imagine my life where I don't trust the universe and where I don't think they have a plan for me. And so that's crazy, you guys. That's actually such a weird introspective moment I just had. Okay. Anyway, enough about me. So let's go ahead and see, what should you change, Group 4? Is there anything Group 4 should change in order for them to align to the right path here? Is there these cards? I know why it's doing that. It's because my hands are a little dry today, which is also why I'm having really bad allergies today, because it's finally becoming cold outside. I mean, we're in literally the end of October. It's finally getting cold, and like the weather is changing, the temperature in the house is changing, and this is where I get very dry. And that's why that's why these cards are like acting like that, because my hands are dry, even though I just lotioned. Okay, let me see. Is there anything Group 4 should change for them to align? The Queen of Wands. I love it. I love it because you have the Queen of Wands. We saw the Queen of Cups, and then we see the Queen of Swords, and all this talk about divine feminine. I really think that, and even with the High Priestess, I really think that if there is anything you can change, It's your confidence within yourself and how you, and it's just like, I say this a lot, but it's just like when you have that self-assurance and you're secure in who you are as a person, it changes everything. It's like a domino effect. Because when you have that security within yourself, then you realize you have higher standards, you deserve better things, you are an amazing person, and it gives you confidence. It really like changes everything around you. So I think if there is anything you can change to help you align to your path here, I think it's to just be more confident within yourself and know your self-worth. Find that security within yourself, that self-assurance, and I think that would really make a world of a difference. It's interesting, she's also playing a musical instrument here. She's playing the harp, and then in that other one she's playing the piano. So also self-expression, you know, because music is a form of self-expression, and I think, yeah, your self-expression could really help you align to your path, because it can kind of help you realize, you know, your emotional satisfactions, and helps you realize a lot of other things. So yeah, how you express yourself, and that really goes back to confidence again, and that goes back to being how sure you are of yourself. Because if we're not self-secure, then we're not confident. And if we're not confident, we sure as hell are not expressing ourselves the way we want to. You know, we're going to be in that box. We're going to hide away. We're going to tuck away all of our things, and we're just going to show up bland because we don't know how to express ourselves, because we don't have the confidence to, because we don't have the self-assurance to show up in this world how we know we want to show up. And I think that's really important for you, and that could help you get into the groove of like, okay, you know, maybe this is what I want to do, maybe this is how I want to show up. Let's see, is there anything that can get group 4 on the right track if they're not already? Three of Cups. Three of Cups talks about friendship, talks about celebration. You know what's so interesting? I think almost every single group got the Three of Cups at some point in our readings. And I think for the collective in general, there is just this message of like, everyone that's watching these videos, you guys need to go out a little bit more, or make friends, or find like-minded people, you know, find reasons to be happy about life, instead of like cooping ourselves away, or maybe being, you know, anxious. And obviously we can't help our anxiety, but I think there's just this need to like put yourself out there a little bit more. That way you can come out of your bubble, you can come out of your shell a little bit, make friends, hang out with people, laugh a little, you know, go to whatever the situation. It doesn't have to be you're partying every day and becoming a crazy person, but it's like, it can just be that you're just spending quality time with people. I think that's what it is like, there's something in the collective where we are lacking quality time with people that we love, whether that's friends, whether that's family, whether that's new friends that we're making by going out and putting ourselves out there. You know, like friends and soulmates and all these people are not going to show up at your door. I said that in another reading, like your soulmate is not going to show up at your front door saying, hey, you're my soulmate, I found you. Or like your best friends, your new best friends and new people, new acquaintances, they're not going to show up at your front door saying, hey, like we're meant to be besties, like I found you, come outside. You know, it's like you kind of have to go and put yourself in a position to meet these people. And I think that's something that could help you just be happier. You know, this is an emotional fulfilling card. So I think Spirit is saying if there's anything you could change, again, to get you tuned to where you need to be, it's emotional satisfaction, emotional happiness, and that comes through connections around you. Okay, let's get some advice here for group. Twos are your number. 22, 22. I had to sneeze earlier, so I stopped it, and then I started over, and then I saw 222 like 3 times. So twos are definitely your number, group 4, and even 4 is 22. You know, 2 twos make up a 4, so twos could be significant. The High Priestess definitely feels significant for this group. Okay, let's get advice. The past. I just heard Elsa from Frozen saying the past is in the past. and to let it go for whatever that may be. Oh my God, that is crazy. I was just saying, you need connections, you need emotional connections, you need support from human beings around you. And we see this card of 3 people. That is literally like the 3 of Cups. That's crazy, because I just said that. And I just saw 23 all the time. Look, there's 3 people here too, meant to be. Listen to that intuition. Ooh, the moon's reflection. Accept responsibility. If I don't fix it, my OCD will eat me alive. Okay. Wail with tenderness. Show compassion and forgive what needs to be forgiven. Okay, group 4. There might be something from the past that you need to forgive and move on from. Don't harbor things, and don't bring the past into the present or past into the future. Snake, Kundalini rising. Channel your creative passion. There's that creativity again. And sensuality. Welcome the transformation. I'll get you one more card. Starfish with intuition. Listen to your soul's truth. Think less, feel more. Okay, group number 4, thank you so much for letting me give you this reading, you guys. Anyway, if you're interested in a private reading, my email is in the description. Wait around for a post that says they're open again, and then send me an email. I also have a Patreon. If you're interested in exclusive content, you can go ahead and check that out. You know, viewers get to suggest the monthly readings on Patreon, so it is super personalized over there. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and check it out. But thank you guys so much for all of your support. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye.